Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And in this one, I wanted to ask the age-old question, to zug or not to zug. So in this video, I'm going to be going over what I do and how I plan to kill an enemy healer. This is a tactic that can be very effective against teams that aren't expecting it. And this is a tactic that is actually incredibly potent against Holy Paladin, which is the most prevalent healer at the moment. So this is a tactic that you can not only initialize on a balanced druid, but on any specialization or composition. And I'm going to be going over the tactic while we're playing through the game itself and how we're going to navigate to victory. So in this particular game, I'm playing a balanced druid, I'm playing with a fire mage and a holy paladin. So our crowd control to kill a healer is Hammer of Justice. This means that I need to protect my paladin to get them to the enemy's holy paladin. You can do this by using crowd control. So we have Cyclone and we have Polymorph. So cycloning the Retribution Paladin, polymorphing the Hunter, vice versa, doesn't matter. But when you're doing that, you got to tell your paladin to get in there, go after the enemy healer for the Hammer of Justice. So you're basically protecting them, kind of like the quarterback, for them to get through for the Hammer of Justice touchdown. We play video games. I don't even know what I'm talking about with football, but I'm hoping somebody got the analogy there. The main goal is to protect your paladin while they go in after the other paladin. Your offensive cooldowns, this is going to be things like Combustion with Fire Mage, Incarnation, depending what covenant you are. You've got Kindred Spirits for the balanced druid every minute. Kindred Spirits is really good for this tactic out of all of the covenant options as a balanced druid because it's a 1 minute cooldown, which is really low to consistently go after healers. So because you're a balanced druid and you can go into stealth, you can opt to stealth in across the field along with your mage. In this particular matchup, I think I may have not chosen to. No, I did. So stealth and then dash. You can utilize Disorienting Roar from stealth. This will hit multiple targets. You may want to wait for flare to go down from the hunter and consecration, that yellow circle, so you don't get found out of stealth. I happenstance to go across the hunter, so I'm going to disorient them and cyclone them. My mage Dragon's Breath the Ret Paladin and the Holy Paladin and casts Ring of Frost. The entire team is crowd controlled. We've got the Paladin isolated. It's time to press all of our cooldowns, do the maximum damage possible. Our Paladin comes in for the Hammer of Justice, and we immediately pop Incarnation, Kyrian. We dump all of our Star Surges, and that Paladin's like, yep, we are screwed. We got a bubble. So they use Divine Shield. They go immune to damage. So now you should start focusing on how am I going to live? Their paladin's immune to damage. We're not really going to do too much. I do opt to attack the hunter and just use the remainder of this incarnation to attack the ret and the hunter, mostly to try and kind of destabilize the healer, make it not certain who we're going after. Here, the ret paladin activates Seraphim. I stun them with Bash. This means Seraphim. Avenging Wrath is very scary. You want to crowd control this. You want to trade cooldowns. It's their big attack at our healer now, so we got to protect Zilia in this case. I innervate him, so all of his healing is free. It's a lot of intense damage. I regrowth him, and I start attacking the pet against the hunter specifically. Killing the pet is a very important tactic. You're going to set them very far behind. It really disrupts them overall. So if the enemy team is all running away and all you can attack is a pet, it's not a bad idea to attack a pet. During this downtime of avoiding the Avenging Wrath and Seraphim, you should try to generate astral power. You can do this by maintaining dots. I try to soften up the Holy Paladin a little bit, and I'm beginning to communicate with my Paladin, hey, when do you have Hammer of Justice? We want to go in. This Paladin just bubbled, so if we're getting ready to cast Polymorphs, I cyclone the Hunter Pet. This is to stop Roar of Sacrifice from the Hunter Pet, so that hopefully my mage will be able to cast a Combustion and get the 100% crit value out of it. Here they intercept us first, so Zilia's in a hammer, I'm in a scatter. I choose to Trinket because we are all crowd controlled, and then I'm going to try and help the team out by casting Cyclones, but the Hunter actually ranges me on the Cyclone, puts me a little bit far behind, and this is still very scary because aim shot, as you can see, hits pretty hard, so I'm just trying to cast Cyclones. We cast Frost Novas, Hunters in crowd control, Ret Paladins in crowd control. It's time to start calling Zilia, our Holy Paladin, in here. We clone the Ret Paladin. We've protected him. We sprint our Paladin, going after theirs. And then we are one cast away from Eclipse. So we'll cast Hammer or Wrath here. This will proc Eclipse. We'll Kyrian. We'll dump our Star Surges, activate our Fury of Elune to get more astral power. And we got the Gladiator's Medallion. This is an important part of the formula to kill a healer in their defensive cooldowns. This means that the Paladin will not be able to escape a Hammer of Justice in the future. so long as we prevent the Retribution Paladin from assisting, and we can do that like we just did with Cyclone. So now that they've survived our assault, we go back to the initial tactic, get our Paladin away because he's going to be vulnerable, and start repositioning, spamming crowd control, and attacking the pet. This is the main point of the strategy, waiting for our Kindred Spirits to come off cooldown. Could utilize Thorns during this downtime to try and deter them. Both teams are playing a very similar tactic, and this is actually a common strategy at the moment in the meta to just only go in with your cooldowns, only go in with burst crowd control. So if you can master this type of tactic, regardless of your composition, you're going to start seeing a lot more success. Here you can see I'm one cast away from Eclipse, this Starfire with a 1 on it, and I've built up full Astral Power. This is to prepare me to go for an attack, and I'm going to hold on to this Astral Power. But double stun scatter, very scary moment in the game. Nobody can really interact with each other on our team. So we decided to trade a defensive cooldown ice block. So their team initiated a similar strategy against us. We have to trade defensive cooldowns. I ended up bark skinning too because I wasn't certain how much damage I was going to take with my paladin in a freezing trap, and we're only really going to take damage in that window. Now I've banked all that astral power. Our paladin's out of crowd control. Their paladin has nothing to get out of Hammer of Justice. The Retribution Paladin is very limited as well. We need to get crowd control on as many targets as we can here. So Ring of Frost around the corner from my mage locks their Holy Paladin in place. I start just generating astral power, getting back to full. We polymorph the Ret. I want to move forward. I want to try and go for Disorients or Cyclones. Their entire team is crowd controlled here, and now our Paladin is safe to run in. We stun their Holy Paladin, and then it's time to dump all of our Star Surges and do as much damage as possible. I use Solar Beam on top of their healer as well, just to stop them from casting, because the Ret Paladin actually broke their stun with Sanctuary. But as a result of crowd controlling all 3 members, saving up all of our damage, all of our hardest hitting attacks, a lot of players will often just you'll maximize your damage rotation like you would in PvE. This is not really the best way of playing the game at the moment in Arena. It is typically better to save your damage and wait for your peak moment, crowd control the enemies, and then activate this type of damage. This is what you call like a burst setup or a burst window. This is the type of strategy that you're going to see in the tournaments a lot tomorrow. For example, in the AWC that I'll be casting as well. I think it's youtube.com/Warcraft if you want to watch the tournament games live there, see what the best players in the game are doing. But this is a tactic that I do expect and anticipate a lot of those teams to be utilizing as well in the competitive play, because it's so effective right now. Cooldowns are so strong, and damage outside of cooldowns is not so strong. So if you've been struggling in Arena and not really able to find kills or not really knowing who to go after, I hope that this video was helpful to you in figuring out your strategy options so that you can execute them and find victory. Thank you again very much for watching. I'll have links above here to other videos as well if you want to check them out. Tier lists, discussions, patch changes, my thoughts on meta changes, so that you're always in the know and the now. That is the main purpose of the channel, to be a resource for all of you, to be the most successful that you can be really in Arena at the moment. And Arena is a lot more fun now in Shadowlands. I feel like Shadowlands has kind of leveled up everything overall in the World of Warcraft experience. So I can only imagine it's going to get better from here. Maybe even after the tournament, we're going to see some changes. I plan on making a tier list as well following the tournament, so I'll do a tournament tier list. So if you're interested in competing in these cups, which are open signups, I'll construct a tier list of my opinion on the best specs to do that, best composition. So if you're pairing up with your buddies, you want to try it out, because these tournament realms have maximum gear, max level characters. You don't have to do any grinding, just log in. All you have to do is sign up, have a World of Warcraft account in good standing, I believe, and sign up with 2 of your friends or 3 of your friends, and then you'll be able to build whatever characters you want and try and have your go at some of the best teams in the game. And it's always just a lot of fun to do that. I think some of my best experiences in WoW have been on tournament servers, so I definitely recommend it. And I'll be constructing that tier list after we've actually seen the tournament conclude this weekend over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Aside from that, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, as it does notify you when all these videos are going to be going live, and it's absolutely free. Other than that, comment down below with your thoughts on what you feel is going well for you in Arena at the moment. I'd love to hear it. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.